Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris checking in with another video on a few steps that will get you motivated to continue your language acquisition in whatever language you're studying during this time of quarantine. So on this channel, I talk about everything China and everything Germany, as well as languages and how to learn them as I speak 6. So today I want to give a few tips on what I'm doing to better my language skills while I am at home during this time. The first tip that I would give to those who just want to start learning a language, I would say you first of all have to make sure you put your attitude in check. What do I mean when I say that? I mean, learning languages is a lifestyle. I personally do not agree with this notion that one can master a language. I don't think languages can be mastered. I feel like they're just this wild, unicorn running across the world that is untamable. You can get skilled at it, but you cannot master it because there's always going to be a word that you don't know, etc., etc., etc. That's my personal opinion. People will disagree with me, but to bring it back to the attitude, what I mean when I say attitude is it's not a chore. If you approach your language learning process as a chore, just like exercising, for example, it's like, oh my gosh, I've skipped a day, so oh my God, I suck. No, take it as a hobby. Take it as a hobby. And you'll have a lot more fun with it. There are no shortcuts. You have to go at it, go at it, go at it. One thing that I will also say that's directly related to the attitude part is remember to regard your language learning baby as a baby. Many people message me and say, oh my God, Chris, I've been learning French for the longest time and I feel like I haven't made any improvements. I've been learning Chinese for like a year now and I feel like it's not getting any better. Remember, when you learned your first language, when you were an infant, you didn't understand everything people were saying to you. People had to do everything for you. They had to explain things to you or they had to teach you. Even when you were a toddler, you did not speak your mother language fluently. But by exposing yourself to it day in and day out, whether you want it or not, you eventually learned. So the same approach has to be taken when we're learning our second, our third, and our fourth language. You have to be patient. Believe me, living in Germany right now, you have to love German, okay? If you don't love German, German will not love you back. It's growing. It's not a task. It's a hobby. You're planting a seed. Don't expect fruits the next day. You got this. Keep watering. Yes. So the second tip that I have would be really start to expose yourself to it. I'm someone who likes to talk a lot. Before I can talk in a language, I have to be able to listen. I have to expose myself to it enough where I can understand it. I am watching the news every day in Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Chinese, and German as well. So many people will ask, where are you getting all these news sources? Simply just go on YouTube and type news in Spanish, news in Portuguese, or news in Croatian, or whatever language you're studying, and listen to it. Don't expect to understand everything. Don't feel ashamed if you can't understand anything. Remember this concept of your language is a baby. You have to be exposed and you have to proactively expose yourself to it because 9 times out of 10, you're probably not in this particular moment in a space where you can go outside and actually interact with people or travel to the country where the language is spoken. So expose yourself to it. Listen, listen, listen. And usually I say listen to the news because in many cases the news is standard. The language is standard, so you avoid learning slang and things like that. Hochdeutsch, for example, in German, so you can learn Hoch Spanish or Hoch Portuguese or etc. and so on and so on. You can add subtitles. I personally don't add subtitles because I just want to expose. The purpose is not to understand, it's to expose. So when you're listening, think about that. You're not listening to understand, you're listening to expose your German infant, in my case, to the German language to be able to listen and get accustomed to the language. And you'll realize sooner or later throughout your language acquisition, you'll realize that the more you listen, the more words you understand. Just as true, in my case, when I was in China, I would watch Chinese television every single day. Chinese is on another level because the characters, the tones, and things like that, it was really difficult. But I saw that when I was on the street, I would read every single sign and try to test my knowledge of the characters. And I realized after 4 years living in China, I could read almost 80% of everything that was in front of me. It is about patience and it is about dedication and exposure, and you'll make it. So again, the news. I also recommend, what I'm using every day is Duolingo. Duolingo is a really, really, really good app for learning languages. They now have a new edition where you can actually listen to some dialogues on the app, which I think is really, really cool. So I'm also learning how people are speaking to each other. Duolingo is free. I just subscribed recently. I think it's Pro. You basically can make as many mistakes as you want, and you can learn for as long as you want every single day. And you can learn offline too, which I think is really cool. So that's basically me exercising and exposing myself every single day, Monday through Sunday. In this time of quarantine, I've seen many people recently making videos on house exercises, exercising at home. Do that, but do it in your language of choice. You'd be surprised. There's so many bodybuilders out there that speak the language that you want to speak. Put yourself in a position where you turn your TV on, you're in your living room, or you have your MacBook or whatever, you have your iPad. Search exercises in Spanish or exercises in French or whatever. And if you don't know how to say that, you can go to Google Translate and type it in and translate into the language that you want to exercise in. There's going to be so many options for you to exercise. And this is another example of what I'm saying. Like when you look at the things that you do every single day, some of the hobbies that you have, you can incorporate those practices with language because there's always free options out there, and YouTube is an amazing, amazing platform for that. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I post videos every single week. If you are just now starting to learn a language, comment below, tell me what language you're learning. Are you learning some Romance language? Are you learning an Asian language? Has it been difficult? Like, what's the process been like for you? What are your language goals? And what are you doing to tackle them? And if you do consider exercising in the language of your choice, using YouTube as the platform, tell me how it went. Do you think it was awkward? Did you understand? The most important thing is to have fun. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.